Hello and welcome to the Film Pulse Podcast. This is episode number 407. My name's Adam Patterson. With me today, got Kevin Rakestraw. Hey, Kevin.
Hi.
How's it going?
Yeah, it's all right.
Did you get your second? You got your second shot, right?
Oh man, yeah, I did.
Did it? What was
Nothing.
the situation with that? You were okay?
Nothing.
That was last weekend, right?
Yes, no side effects whatsoever.
That's good. That's good. Good to hear. This week on the show, we'll be reviewing The Mitchells vs. the Machines, which is available on Netflix right now. We'll also be going over what we've been watching on the watch list and going over this week's new releases on VOD and Blu-ray. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Please remember to review us on iTunes if you get a moment. That would be super helpful. Got nothing as far as housekeeping, so I think we can just hop right on in to The Mitchells vs. the Machines. This is directed by Michael Rianda and Jeff Rowe. I have a synopsis here. A quirky, dysfunctional family's road trip is upended when they find themselves in the middle of a robot apocalypse and suddenly become humanity's unlikeliest last hope. Now, this is a Sony Pictures animation, so it's the same studio that brought us Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and it is produced by Lord and Miller, so you should have a good idea of kind of what to expect comedy-wise and animation-wise there. Mike Rianda and Jeff Rowe are two of the creative forces behind the show Gravity Falls, which was an excellent show, by the way. So that should also give you an idea of what to expect. Pretty robust voice cast here. We have Abby Jacobson, Danny McBride, Maya Rudolph, Eric Andre, Olivia Colman, Fred Armisen, Beck Bennett, Chrissy Teigen, John Legend, Charlene Yee. I have a written review for this up on the site. So we'll start with you, Kevin. What were your initial impressions of The Mitchells versus the Machines?
I love the animation style. Absolutely adored it. Just the look, the entire look of it, like the even like just the character design. You know, the way that the characters looked was, to me, it was different enough. It was unique enough. It wasn't, kind of nowadays it seems like a lot of animation is, within like 2 or 3 camps, really.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
Yeah. And actually, in my review, I mentioned that I found the animation style to be refreshing compared to what we're used to with just standard Pixar stuff. It looks different. Yeah. And I don't understand why, somehow, I don't know if it was like Toy Story that really kind of cemented that, just standard CG look or whatever the case may be, where all of a sudden it's like every movie just looks the same. Like, no matter where it comes from, whether it's like a DreamWorks or even a smaller indie studio or something, it's like all CG animated movies have the exact same look to them. Obviously there's exceptions, but for the most part, they all just look the same. And so when a movie like this comes out that goes for something different, a different style, I definitely take notice.
Yeah, and I also appreciated even though it's an animated movie, how they still kind of like incorporate like the embellishments, I'll say, like the adornments that they put on it, with like the stickers and filters and that kind of thing, because we are dealing with, technology here and smartphones. So I did appreciate that. Interestingly enough, like the majority of this movie, I didn't find that humorous. I didn't find it that funny. And it's not a knock against the movie, because I still like enjoyed my time. Like I was just having a good time watching it, but it wasn't like laugh out loud funny until the end, which normally with comedies, it's usually the inverse of that, where, you get your jokes a mile a minute at the beginning, like halfway into the movie. And then, we've talked about this numerous times, where that kind of takes a back seat to them trying to tell a story, and, people got to learn lessons and stuff. And the comedy just kind of dips out. This one, it was like, there was some funny stuff here and there, chuckles. But to me, the ending was really the strong point, comedy-wise.
That's interesting. I thought that they did a good job of keeping it sort of at an even keel throughout. I didn't think that the comedy was too front-loaded. I actually liked all of the stuff with the family more than the action stuff. Like I could have just had this be a movie where it's about the Mitchell family going on a road trip. Like I don't need any of the robots.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
I just enjoyed spending time with this family and the dog.
I think the only thing that I would have missed is two of the things that I thought were the funniest is them not being able to decipher the dog, which I just thought was, I don't know why, it's just so funny to me. And Raya, Maya Rudolph's Linda Mitchell just going absolutely insane
when she goes berserk. So I enjoyed that too. I thought that was a really funny scene, how they went with like the Kill Bill, homage there.
Yeah, because he gets fucked up there for a while. Like she loses it.
Yep, she does. So what you have here is this. It's at its core, it's really kind of a story about family and keeping that connection and accepting our family members for their eccentricities and all of that stuff. And you really have this sort of at the center of this, it's about the relationship between Abby Jacobson's character as Katie and Danny McBride's character as Rick, the dad, and how, like, when she was younger, they had this really strong bond, but as she got older, it, weakened, or at least seemed like it was weakened, and their interests became further apart, and she got all into like filmmaking and stuff, and he just didn't understand that world and didn't seem like he was really wanting to understand it, and the two just sort of grew apart. And it's just about reestablishing that bond and like sort of remembering that our family's going to be there for us and all of that stuff. And I thought it was a really sweet story. I thought that a lot of it was really funny. I loved all the stuff with the dog. Like everything with Monchi I thought was incredible. But I always have like a soft spot for dog humor, so I'm certainly like biased with that. But I liked all that stuff. I really liked this movie overall. I thought it was really solid. I thought that there were some dips for me, but for the most part, it kept me engaged. Again, I'll just reiterate that, like, anytime that they would cut away from the family to the robot stuff, I would just be like, I don't really, I just don't care about any of this stuff. And I understand that, like,
because like, we get it the robots.
Yeah, like I partially understand the need for it to help, push the narrative and help us understand like what their goal is, what the robot's end goal is, and all of that stuff. And I thought a lot of it looked cool. I liked the neon, like synthwave almost look to all the robot stuff. And I also liked sort of the juxtaposition between like the Mitchell family, which was like felt very like traditional and like low tech compared to what we saw with like the robots, where everything was like neon and shit. I liked it aesthetically, but just story wise, I just wanted to get back to the Mitchells whenever we would leave them.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I do. I also appreciated how kind of streamlined the story is. I like that, the robots are introduced and just immediately, like, there's no like build up to it, or, something goes wrong. It's just immediate. As soon as they're introduced, they take over.
Yeah.
Let's just get to it.
Yeah, they're not screwing around. Which is interesting because as far as like animated movies go, this is longer. This is almost 2 hours long, which is longer than your typical animated movie. But I wasn't bothered by the length. I didn't feel like it was too long. I didn't feel like that they needed to trim any of it down. It all felt, paced really well. And I think that just goes back to what you were saying about the level of comedy just remaining at an even keel, even during the moments of like bigger action, especially towards the end when things started to crescendo.
Yeah.
I just think they did a wonderful job. It's a very cute movie.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. I mean, and even like I said, like I wasn't laughing out loud and like losing my shit for the duration, but like I was having fun. I was happy. I had a smile on my face. I felt like I was in good company, and I was just enjoying myself.
Yeah, same here. I think I did laugh quite a lot in this. I thought that a lot of the stuff towards the beginning was funny. I love when they first go on the trip and the montage of her tricking the dad into kissing the dog over and over again. There were just lots of little things that I really enjoyed. Of course,
Yeah. Again, yeah. To me, it's the same thing. It was just like a little chuckle. Like I enjoyed the Aaron kid and how he was so into dinosaurs.
Yeah,
and I love that little bit of him at the beginning that tells you all you need to know is him calling every single person in the phone book and be like, "Would you like to talk to me about dinosaurs?"
Yeah. That character voiced by Michael Rianda.
Yeah, which that drove me crazy. Like the entire movie, I was like, "Who does Aaron's voice?"
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out too.
Yeah, I never would have guessed Michael Rianda because I don't know who the hell that is.
Yeah, all the other ones are fairly obvious. I think I liked Fred Armisen and Beck Bennett as the robots, Eric and Deborah. I thought that they were really funny. Especially Beck Bennett. I think that Beck Bennett in that type of character, I think he's really good. I like Beck Bennett and everything, though. I like that they cast Chrissy Teigen and John Legend as like the perfect neighbors, like the perfect family that the Mitchells are striving to be, or at least Maya Rudolph, who plays the mom, Linda. Thought that was some funny casting, but overall I thought I had a really good time with it. I think it's really good. I feel like it's been a long time since I saw like a really great like family comedy, and especially like an animated one. Like I didn't see any good animated comedies last year, like done. So this was like a real treat for me. And it's definitely my kind of humor too. Like it is the type of movie that I think kids can enjoy, but I think adults can take a lot away from it as well, especially adults who have like kids who are getting older and getting ready to go off to college and stuff like that. I imagine that there would be something very resonant with that crowd, and I just like the Lord and Miller style of humor, and I think that this movie has that in spades. So
I just remembered Danny McBride's Rick Mitchell character using the computer twice at the end. It's just, especially that last one where it turns into like a horror movie.
Yeah. When he says like, it took me 28 minutes and a lot of tears, but I got it done. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, I think there's a lot of really, really great little one-liners and things like that in here that were really funny. Also, props to them for just casually having a gay main character without even making a thing of it.
Yeah, making it a big deal.
I didn't even, I was going to write about that in my review, but I decided, you know what, I'm not even going to acknowledge it, because I think that it's something that doesn't need to be acknowledged anymore. Yeah, and I know that I'm doing it right now, but
yeah.
But I'm totally contradicting myself. But
it does seem like we're moving in that direction.
Yeah, I think it's great that it's like this movie takes, I think, a step forward in normalizing that, where it's not like, whoa, like it's just nothing. It's just a natural thing, and I really liked how they did that. So kudos to them. The Mitchells versus the Machines. It's on Netflix. Definitely check it out. Let's go ahead and give it a score. I think I gave it an 8 out of 10 in my review.
Ooh, I think I'm close to that. I'm like a 7.5.
There you go. Check it out. If for no other reason, Monchi the pug, who can't make his eyes go straight, which I loved that scene, by the way, where she was trying to get him to make his eyes go straight. And he was really struggling.
Goddamn dog.
Love it. Love the dog. All right. Let's talk about some of what we've been watching think it's my turn this week.
Hit me.
I saw Tom Clancy's Without Remorse. This is on Amazon Prime. This is directed by Stefano Sollima. This is it's the guy who did the Sicario 2 movie, which I didn't see. I know you saw that, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I did. Saw it in the theaters.
Nice. This movie's boring. I saw it Friday, and I forgot almost everything about it already.
Nice.
It's just a super generic political thriller, just like what you might expect from a Tom Clancy movie, but there's just nothing about it that is like even remotely memorable. Like Michael B. Jordan he's a good actor. I like him a lot, and I think that he has what it takes to be an action star. But he just didn't have a whole lot to work with here. I mean, at the end of the day, what you have here is a very typical sort of by the numbers revenge thriller that just takes place in, you know, in the world of the CIA and special forces and all of that stuff. Michael B. Jordan plays this like Navy SEAL who carries out this mission and kills someone, and in retaliation, this group comes to the US and starts killing off everybody in his team and their families. So,
oh, damn.
Yeah. So what ends up happening is that Michael B. Jordan's character gets shot and his wife and unborn child get murdered.
Wow.
And he, as the title suggests, turns into this remorseless killer and, fucks a lot of people up in, as he's going out to get revenge. And there's a couple notable scenes in it. There's this one like really crazy scene when he goes after this guy and like catches the guy's car on fire and stuff, and that's a really great scene. There's another really great scene where he gets after he gets arrested for doing that, he takes on a bunch of people in prison, which is cool. Other than that, it's very, very generic. And not very good, unfortunately. So I can't really recommend it. Jamie Bell is in it too. He plays sort of the antagonist in a way. Like he's this like CIA guy who seems like he knows more than what he's leading on, and he might be a bad guy, but whatever. It's it's just not very good. So I can't recommend Without Remorse.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have a movie that I can recommend.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And that's Marlene Gorse's A Question of Silence from 1982. This is, if you know the feminist film journal, Another Gaze, they have started like their own streaming service. But it's not really like a streaming service like, you would expect, like Arrow or something along those lines. They just do like really distinct like film programs. So they might do like 5 short films all around, like one theme. And it's available for like a week or 2 weeks, something along those lines. But they also pack it up with tons of translations, subtitles translations. You got tons of essays, all sorts of stuff, all in this like program. So they put out this movie, A Question of Silence, from 1982. This is absolutely phenomenal. It is, you're introduced to 3 women that don't know each other, never met each other, except for one day where they're shopping at this like little boutique, and the one woman is caught shoplifting by the guy that like runs the place. And then these 3 women kind of gang up and beat the shit out of him and kill him. And there's some other people there, other women there that are watching. And they don't say anything. They don't do anything. They don't intervene. And they don't go to the police. It's as if they were never there. So you're introduced to these 3 women in the beginning of the movie. They're all 3 getting picked up by the police for the crime that they committed. And the whole gist of it really is another woman comes in as a psychiatrist, and it's her job to essentially interview the 3 women and decide if they are competent enough to stand trial or, are they insane? So the movie cuts back and forth between her doing the interviews and the actual crime itself happening. And just the way that this thing is done it's pretty damn good. And I've never heard of this movie, never heard of this director, but wow, this thing is something else.
It looks really good. Might have to check this out.
It's so good. It's so good. It is so good.
All right. Well, in what may be the exact opposite of pro-feminist film, I started watching the Female Prisoner series. I guess you could look at it as a pro-feminist film in a way. I think that some people look at it as a pro-feminist film series. But at any rate, you start with Female Prisoner 701 Scorpion. This is directed by Shunya Ito. Came out in 1972. It is sort of, on the surface, you see it as this sort of exploitation. It's a women in prison film. You know, these were popular in the 70s. And the difference here is that it's so artfully shot, and there's so many very artistic sequences in this that it definitely elevates this series above what you might expect from a typical women in prison film. It's so at its core, it's about this woman who is she starts dating a cop, and the cop convinces her, he's like a narcotics officer, and he convinces her to help him on a sting operation where she has to go undercover into this like Yakuza club and try to get them to like sell her drugs or something. But they end up, I guess, figuring out that she's working with the cops like immediately, like as soon as she walks in, and they sexually assault her, and then the cops come in and they bust them all for drugs and for rape. And it turns out that the cop was just using her to get that extra rape charge added on because he knew that they were going to do that. So he completely set her up, and she loses it, tries to kill him, and then ends up in prison. She doesn't succeed. While she's in prison, things get very bad for her because she knows that they set her up, and she didn't like give them up or anything. So these crooked cops decide that she needs to go. So they end up hiring this other woman in the prison to kill her. So there's all these people like going after her, and then she escapes and it gets caught and thrown back in, and all of the other women get punished. So like basically everybody's out to get her, and she just perseveres through it all. And in the same year, you had the sequel come out, which was called Female Prisoner Scorpion Jailhouse 41, which continues the series. It's the same director, same cast, and it kind of just continues on from there. And then the third one in the series is called Female Prisoner Scorpion Beast Stable. And this one, which is the end of the initial trilogy, the series continues on after that, but this is like the main trilogy with the same director, Shunya Ito, and Maiko Kaji as the main character. You may know her from the Lady Snowblood movies. She's great. Mm-hmm. The third one is even crazier. And the thing is, like, you see these movies, you see the first one, you're like, wow, that was not what I expected. And then when you go to watch the second one, you're like, oh, there's no way that it can like be on the same level as the first one. The first one was just such a far departure from what we'd expect from a low budget exploitation film. And then the second one is even more like art house, and it has all these like weird, like surreal elements to it, where there's like these like dream sequences and all kinds of really weird imagery and like crazy camera angles and like experimental cinematography and stuff. And then by the time the third one rolls around, you're like, surely they're not going to get even wilder in the third one. And they do. It's it's just such a fascinating series because it's just not at all what I expected. I think that you would actually really like this series. I mean, to be clear, there are like the exploitation elements are there. Like they're always looking for a reason to like rip a woman's shirt right at the boob, so like one of her boobs pops out. There's like always a scene where there's like one boob that's exposed. And there's a lot of awful stuff, to be clear, too. There's like a lot of really, really grim subject matter in these movies. I mean, because they were released in the early 70s, it's not like super graphic or anything, but it's still pretty rough. And so there are those elements, to be clear. But the way that they're presented and a lot of, like, as I said, the cinematography and some of the crazy sequences, like the one like some of the scenes are like set on like a sound stage where you have like these revolving sets and stuff, and there's this like theater quality to it. It's so wild, man. Like it is not anything like what you would expect at all. So at any rate, I can definitely recommend at least the first 3 female prisoner Scorpion movies. They are all on Shudder. I'm sorry. Yes, they are all on Shudder. And there's more than that on Shudder too. I don't know. There's like 4 or 5 of them on Shudder. So definitely recommend that series.
All right. I watched Black Bear, Lawrence Michael Levine, Black Bear with Aubrey Plaza.
I was interested in this.
Yeah. So in a lot of ways, it just feels like him kind of redoing his wife's movie Green, but also making it a movie about making movies. And it is once again, although he's not in it, right? But we've talked about this before. Pretty much any movie that he directed or his wife has directed, for some reason, like a main component of it is him and 2 women fighting over him. Just like hysterical, fighting over him like he's just the greatest thing on earth. And here, the Lawrence Michael Levine stand-in is played by Christopher Abbott, and that's what it is. It's Aubrey Plaza and Sarah Gadon just fighting over him, even though he has like nothing to offer, and it's really annoying. And it's one of those things now that after watching Black Bear, I'm just like, you know what? I think all of those movies that I was, somewhat positive on, whether it be Wild Canaries, Green, what's the other one? Gabby on the Roof in July or something like that.
Yeah, Gabby on the Roof in July.
Yeah, like I was pretty much, pretty positive on all those movies. And this Black Bear is just soured everything. And I'm just like, it's all the same movie. You just make the same movie all the time. What the fuck is wrong with you? I don't. They're like, and I know movies aren't representative of their life in a lot of ways, but it seems like there's something there, and it's just weird, and I don't like it anymore.
Well, isn't this one like even more directly about making movies too? Isn't like Aubrey Plaza she's like an actor or a filmmaker or something?
It's weird because it's cut up in 2 parts. The first part is Aubrey Plaza plays a director. She goes to this Airbnb that Christopher Abbott and Sarah Gadon are running, like in this like remote place out in the Adirondacks. And she's there to write a movie, and she's kind of like fucking with them, and it just completely fucks up their relationship. And then it cuts, and the second part starts. Aubrey Plaza is now playing in a movie pretty much based off of the first part. Christopher Abbott is the director. Those 2 are married, and Sarah Gadon is the other lead. And Christopher Abbott is manipulating his wife, played by Aubrey Plaza, to get, quote unquote, a good performance. So it plays into that kind of aspect too, of like the shitty director manipulating people and treating them poorly to get like great performances out of them. But like in both aspects, and a lot of the other movies that he's directed or Sylvia Tsakal's directed, is 2 women hysterically fighting over him, essentially. And it's just at this point, like 6 movies deep, it's like, okay, this is stupid. Like, there's not another word for it. It's just dumb. I don't want a part of it.
Yeah.
Come up with something else, for Christ's sake.
I still like 12 Canaries.
I like that, but even that's just a ripoff of Woody Allen. I mean, he completely ripped.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we even talked about that back when that came out.
And then he's got to inject that too. Whereas, like, 2 women fighting over him in that movie.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's weird. It seemed unnecessary.
All right. Well, that's Black Bear. I'm kind of glad I didn't bother with it then. I saw Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge. This is an animated film directed by Ethan Spalding. Came out last year. I don't know. For whatever reason, I wasn't really interested in it when it came out, but with the new Mortal Kombat movie coming out, I've been kind of, I don't know, interested in the Mortal Kombat series. I've been playing through Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate recently as well. I had the original one back when it came out a couple years ago, but I didn't buy any of the like add-on shit. But since the Ultimate version came out and it was on sale, I picked it up and I've been playing through that. It's been really fun. And I saw that this was on HBO Max, so I decided to give it a look. And it's really good. This is a solid animated film. The animation style is it's good. I mean, it's kind of like what you would expect from your typical kind of superhero movies. It's almost like that Batman the Animated Series style of animation a little bit, or at least inspired by that. Feels, I don't know, if you've seen Invincible on Amazon Prime, it's kind of like that style as well. Which is not a bad thing. I mean, it's fine. Nothing incredible about it. One thing that I will note that is that it is extremely gory. Definitely lives up to the Mortal Kombat name. Lots of fatalities and brutalities in this, and like they do the same thing that in the movie that they do in the games now, where it does like the X-ray thing where it zooms in, you can see inside the person's body and exactly what's happening to that person's body as they're getting destroyed by their opponent. And the plot of this is basically the same as the movie, the new movie that came out. It's almost the exact same. So it follows the first tournament with this cast of characters that we know, like Liu Kang and Sonya Blade and all of those characters. And it's called Scorpion's Revenge, but it's really just kind of follows that tournament. There's a little bit more of a focus on the Scorpion character, and they do the same thing that they do in the live action movie, where they open with, Scorpion before he's Scorpion, when he's living in the village, and then the death of his family and all of that stuff. It's weird. It's weird how close this is to the live action movie, actually, as far as like structure and everything. But it's better. I mean, I think that this is better than a live action movie, actually. Yeah. They do things right in this, where they actually show you the tournament, and the fight scenes are just one-on-one fight scenes. So yeah, it's cool. I would recommend it. Johnny Cage is in this too. That's another difference between this and the live action one. And Joel McHale is the voice of Johnny Cage, which works out pretty nicely. I don't know who decided to cast Joel McHale as Johnny Cage, but it definitely works.
I only watched one other thing, but I will like everyone to take note that I watched 3 other movies outside of the main discussion movie. That might be my most in months.
Man, killing it this week.
On fire. That's mostly because I took an extra day off, so that helped. The other movie that I watched is also available on Netflix right now, and that's Terry Samundra's Kaali Khuhi. I'm pretty sure that's completely wrong. This is an Indian horror movie, more so like a ghost movie. It's not real big on the horror aspects, but it is kind of creepy and unsettling. The main thing about this movie, though, is it is beautiful. God damn. The setting, the lighting. There's always like fog in this little remote village, just fog everywhere, just rolling through on the ground, just in every shot, pretty much. And it's just incredible. It looks so gorgeous. So it's this like remote Punjab village. This guy goes with his wife and his daughter. His mother is sick, so he's going to take care of her. But the problem is this little village is kind of being haunted by this restless spirit, because this village has a history of female infanticide, where they selectively killed all the the female babies. So this is one of them from the well, and she's causing some ruckus. She's making things very difficult. So it ends up coming down to the guy's daughter, Shivangi, who it's her job essentially to like kind of rid the curse from the village. And this, again, like I said, it's gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. If you're looking for like a traditional horror movie, I think you're going to be sorely disappointed, because there's not like a lot of like big scares to it. It's just more of like an atmospheric type thing. But I will say that like towards the end, it got a little bit surprising, because it started getting a little bit trippy. They started doing some like experimental stuff at the end, which I was not prepared for. I wasn't getting that vibe from the movie. Everything that came before it. That was not where I was, it's not where I would have anticipated this going. But I would say I highly recommend this movie. But like I said, don't go into it thinking, like traditional horror, like traditional thing.
Got it.
But man, it's a good one. A little, one of those little hidden gems on the Netflix there.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at what we have on VOD this week. On the 4th, we have Wrong Place, Wrong Time. Looks like some kind of thriller, maybe. An elite team of vigilantes plot to steal $14 billion.
Whoa.
Yeah. But they get double-crossed.
No.
And they end up in the middle of nowhere with a mysterious family carrying an unsettling secret.
Oh my goodness. It just keeps compounding.
So it's like a crime thriller mixed with maybe like some kind of horror movie. I don't even know, man. I do know that they're in the wrong place at the wrong time, according to the title. We also have Cerebrum to make men's eat. To make ends meet, Tom signs on as a guinea pig at a home-based lab. Okay, well, there's your first issue. Why would you sign on to be a guinea pig at a home-based lab? That's a red flag right there.
Mm-hmm.
But when he commits a crime he can't remember, he must risk his own sanity to reveal the truth. Have you backed up your brain, is the tagline.
Can you?
Well, maybe that's what they're working on in their home-based lab. We also have Beast. 3 interwoven stories of youth navigating identity, first love, petty crime, and gun violence in a Southern American town.
Danny Madden.
Yeah.
Watch out.
I think that was at Sundance. Painkiller is also coming out. This is looks like a horror movie. We got Crappy Mother's Day.
What?
Get it? It's instead of Happy Mother's Day, it's crappy. Now, see, the only thing I'm not sure about is, are you wishing someone a crappy Mother's Day? Like, are you saying have a crappy Mother's Day? Because if so, that's a dick move. Mm-hmm. Or are you saying that you are a mother and you're having a crappy Mother's Day?
Yeah, but maybe that person's mother's trash. So,
Yeah, so there's some hostility there. I see. Either way, this is 3 generations of women attempt to celebrate Mother's Day, but things go sour from the start.
There you go. That answers your question.
Mm-hmm. We have, on the 7th, Street Gang, How We Got to Sesame Street. That's the documentary about Sesame Street. That's in theaters right now, by the way. Looks good. I mean, if you're into that, usually those Sesame Street docs are pretty good. We've got Monster on Netflix. This is tells the story of Steve Harmon, a 17-year-old honor student whose world comes crashing down when he is charged with a felony murder.
Okay.
Looks pretty intense. We got Emily at the Edge of Chaos. This is a virtual theatrical release. It's about Emily Levine's live performance. This was like recorded before she died.
Okay.
Not for me. We got Milestone on Netflix. This is a poignant film that follows the story of a recently bereaved middle-aged truck driver. Looks a little heavy. We got Silo coming out. That's a virtual theatrical release. That's about a guy who gets stuck in a grain silo.
Oh my God, could you fucking imagine?
No.
That'd be awful.
No. I mean, apparently it's actually a really common thing, and it happens every year. It happens to people every year where they get stuck in grain silos. A lot of people drown in them, unfortunately.
Yeah, which makes you think, like, someone's got to come up with something, like some sort of safety.
Yeah. Like a button or something that opens to do something.
You gotta save these people, because can you imagine dying in a grain silo?
Drowning in corn? you drown in corn? Or grain, I guess. Any kind of item.
Whatever it is, it's awful.
And
you're gonna drown in it.
This specific movie is a corn silo.
Fucking corn. Are you kidding me? Oh.
Yeah. Let's see. We got 15 things you didn't know about Bigfoot. Number 1 will blow your mind. We talked about this like a week or two ago about awful titles. This is it used to be called The Vice Guide to Bigfoot, but something happened. Something happened with this, and I have a feeling that if you watch this movie, that all of the mentions of Vice and everything will be scrubbed out. In fact, I'm kind of like curious to watch it to see if it's actually not a bad movie. It has some interesting, it takes some really interesting turns that you don't necessarily expect. There's more to it than just Bigfoot, let's put it that way. We also have Initiation. This is a Saban Films release, so take that for what it's worth. Looks like there's like a murder involved, a spree of sinister social media messages sweeping the students during university's pledge week. Oh,
just too many S's. I don't like that alliteration.
We have The Unthinkable. This is a Swedish disaster movie. It looks like it's about like an alien invasion.
Ooh.
This comes at a great time because my dad is visiting this week.
Big.
And he loves, I've said it before, he loves disaster movies, so I think we'll be renting this one.
Why does it seem like parents love disaster movies? Because it seems like that's parents. That's a parent thing. Parents just love disaster movies.
I don't know what it is. Also on the 7th, we have The Paper Tigers. This is one that I think both of us can definitely recommend. It's an action comedy.
Hell yeah.
Highly recommend that one. We have The Boy from Medellin. This is on Amazon Prime. It's a rock doc, I believe. About some singer. That looks like that's about it for VOD. Let's take a look at what we have on Blu-ray. This is on May 4th. We have Speed coming out in 4K. We've got The Black Cauldron from 1985. I kind of forgot about that movie. We have Big Fish coming out in 4K. The Hot Spot from 1990. Speed is also getting some kind of steelbook version. Kind of cool looking. We've got Judas and the Black Priest. Jesus Christ. Judas and the Black Messiah coming out. Got The Little Things. CB4, the movie from 1993.
Yeah. That's a good one.
I haven't seen that movie in so long, and the last time I saw it, it was when it was on TV, so I think I need to revisit that.
Yeah.
We have Vanilla Ice in Cool as Ice from 1991. I never saw that, but I have a morbid curiosity.
Understandable.
Sweet Liberty from 1986. Valiant from 2005. It's a animated movie. It looks like about pigeons. Maybe it's like they're carrier pigeons or something. Got MacGruber, The Last Married Couple in America from 1980. Let's see what else we got here. Hellfighters from 1968 starring John Wayne. The Virtuoso, which came out on VOD this past week. A Ghost Waits. Arrow is putting that out. You saw that. You talked about that a couple weeks ago, didn't you?
Yeah,
like a month ago.
It was all right.
Looks like there's some kind of Ken Burns documentary called Hemingway. FTA from 1971. That just got a remaster. Wages of Sin from 1966. For the Sake of Vicious. MC Escher. Journey to Infinity. And it looks like Dirty Dancing is getting a steelbook. What do we have on Criterion this week?
We got one, and that's Trances, the Moroccan movie from 1981. Kind of a concert movie, like an experimental concert movie / documentary type thing. This was a part of, I think, the first Martin Scorsese's World Cinema Project box set that Criterion put out, and it's just now getting its own release with like a new box art and stuff. But the special features are pretty limited.
Got it. Okay. All right, I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @filmpulse.net and @filmpulsekevin. And if you have a moment, consider reviewing us on iTunes. We'd appreciate that very much. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.